right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go in three,
Yeah.
2, cheers.
Yeah, tradition. Hello, good evening. So I'm recording this, but if you're listening in the morning, good morning, afternoon. I'm Josh. That's Caleb. This is This Week in Sports, and a lot has happened in the last little bit here. I've been kind of busy, so haven't been able to record in the last few days. Had a crazy weekend. I'll get into that. The CFL just concluded. Winnipeg Blue Bombers just won the Grey Cup. The Oilers are on a terrible, terrible losing streak right now, losing 5 in a row.
Ooh.
I went to the game this past Thursday against Boston. Got a funny story about that as well. And one of the best goals you'll ever see in history of hockey was scored this past week as well. Ovi scored a historic goal. A lot has happened. Oh yeah, there's some Canadian love as well. Damian Warner winning Canadian Athlete of the Year for his performance at the Olympics. So a lot has happened. But before we get into that, got to give a shout out to Cage Exteriors if you're looking for work or if you're looking for work done on your house. Most of the eaves troughs, they have a deal going on right now for limited time. Limited time, receive 100 feet of free eaves troughs with your roofing or siding projects. So they do everything on the exterior houses. They're a great local family company called Cage Exteriors with a K, Kage, exteriors.com. That's their website. If you're looking for work though, they're actually kind of busy right now. Give Greg Johnson a call at 403-971-2523. It's Greg Johnson with Cage Exteriors, 403-971-2523. They're always got work going on, and they always seem to be hiring. I mean, you got the cousins always working with them and whatnot. They're a good local company. So, before I get into this week in sports and all the things that took place, my week has been quite a freaking.
Let's get into your week.
Let's get into my week here for a second because it was it kind of all started when I went to the game on Thursday, right?
You're in Edmonton.
Here in Edmonton, yeah. My cousin Adam and a group of us. There's a group of 5 of us. He got tickets for everyone, and so as a lot of people do. We pre-gamed a little bit. We had some drinks before the game, and remember we came back here, pick up a few things, pick up a jersey for a homie, and we went to the game. We're all stoked. We get there. I'm waiting in line. I've been to a few games this year. The group of friends that I went with, they haven't been to a game this year, so they don't really know like the procedures. So I was just like flying through the line while they're like while they're at the where they have to check for the vaccine and like proof of a negative test or whatever. So they're stuck back there while I'm still moving through the line, and I get to the gate where they check the tickets, and I'm standing there. I'm waiting. I'm like calling them on the phone, and they're like, "Yo, we're having trouble getting in. Like the tickets aren't working, or one of them doesn't have their actual vaccine QR code or whatever." And I'm like, "No freaking way!" I'm standing there. I'm already past the first checkpoint, if you want to call it, where they have to check the your negative test or your vaccine. And so I'm just waiting where the usher's scanning the tickets, just waiting by these ushers. And I'm like waiting. A few minutes goes by. I'm texting them like, "Where are you guys? Are you guys coming?" They're like, the one homie I was texting, Matt. He's like, "Yo, I already left. I just left." I'm like, "What? You left?"
What?
Like, yeah. He's like, "Yeah, because we weren't able to get. We're not getting in. Because one of the people, she didn't have her vaccine, and also on top of that, I guess the tickets weren't working. So I'm standing there trying to think fast, like how I'm going to do this.
You got to get in.
I got to get in. I was looking forward to this.
You came this whole way.
I came that whole way. I was right there. So as the one usher's like scanning this other person's ticket, I'm slick with it. And I'm not like. Luckily, I'm kind of like a skinnier dude, so I was able to like sneak like right behind her. Like somehow she didn't even see as she's scanning someone else's ticket. I like kind of shimmy right behind her, boom, 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 and walk right in. And just I tried to disappear in the group of the crowd or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, you're wearing a jersey too, right?
I'm wearing a jersey with my name on
Yeah, I
it.
know. Yeah, well, you're wearing the same colors as everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just ironic that my name's on my jersey. But I just dipped in the crowd and I go up, but here's the funny thing too. I don't, I didn't see the ticket when Adam bought it. I didn't
Right.
know where the seats were. I had no idea. So I'm just kind of just walking around, waiting for the game to
and you
start.
didn't text them to see like where your seats were?
No, I didn't
Mm.
because I just figured like I'm by myself. These games haven't been sold out this year, so I figured I could find maybe a seat, somewhere, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yep.
so eventually, like as the game's starting, I'm watching the start of the game from the drinking rail on the lower bowl, one of my favorite spots
Good
because
spot.
it's a good spot. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can just like dip and go grab a beer and then come back real quick, right? You don't have to like go up and down the stairs and have to wait. So I'm watching like I don't know, like the first 5-10 minutes of the game there up there, and then the usher that's in that section like sees me standing there, and she asked me like, "Are these your seats or where are you sitting?" I'm like, I played it off like, "No, actually, I'm sitting down there." I just pointed down there, just
Yeah. Yeah.
hoping that there'd be a seat because she's like, "Okay, well, you have to go to your seat." I'm like, "Okay, all right." So I'm walking like down the steps.
Also, as someone who's been an usher before for an Oilers game, like what kind of fucking
Well, she was like a Karen.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. What
yeah.
kind of this ain't your money.
Exactly.
These ain't your tickets that you're selling,
Right?
lady. Like if someone's like, I would never in my sections check on someone
At the top there.
at the top. There, no, if they're
Yeah.
standing there. They're not making trouble. They're
They're not
having a good
making
time.
trouble.
If they're not
Exactly.
making trouble, like then I don't. That's my job is to control people making trouble. If they're not making trouble, then I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically she's like, well, you got to go down to your seat now. And I'm like, okay, well, so I start walking down the stairs, and it's behind one of the nets, and I'm just like I'm hoping as I'm walking down the steps that I'm gonna see a seat that's open, that's not like in the middle of the row, right, where I have to disrupt a bunch of people. Luckily, as I'm getting down closer and closer to the ice, I think it was like the 7th row up. There's a couple extra seats on the stairs
Nice.
that are open, so I just planted my ass down there and watched the game from those seats.
The whole thing.
For the whole game, yeah, because there were
Dude.
six seats, man, and I've done it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have. I don't always sit in my designated seat because I mean,
Of
there's
course not. I mean, if you see something open, you go for it.
and there's
yeah.
a lot of empty seats this year,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
what I was
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So I made notes of exactly what section it was, which row it was, which seats it were, right? Because so when I went to grab a beer and whatnot, I knew exactly where I was coming back to, right?
Yeah.
Because you could easily forget.
Yeah,
Right?
you could immediately say to somebody that was asking where your seats were, "Oh, I'm in L
exactly.
40."
Yeah. I'm in row 7, seat whatever
Yeah,
it was, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I made a mental note of that, and but Oilers got beat. That was their 4th loss in a row against Boston. It wasn't. We didn't play terribly as we did like in our first 3 games of the losing streak, but it was disappointing to. It's always disappointing to see us lose, but especially when you're at the game and you're looking forward to it for so long. And like I like the Bruins because they're such a good team. I mean, I don't like them when they're playing us, but they're such a good team. And my boy Taylor Hall's on the team too, so that's another big reason I wanted to go to that game.
Ooh, Taylor.
Yeah. So
So what do you think? What do you think about them?
but Boston?
About them can
Well, Boston
can fuck us up. Like, why?
They have mad experience. Their core group. They've all been there. Their main players have won a Stanley Cup with the Boston.
Okay.
They on paper and historically in the last handful of years they have been the better team. Just on paper, but I mean the score was 3-2. It wasn't like a blowout or anything.
Right.
And then the following game we played Carolina. Ethan Bear's return, and
Ethan Bear's in Carolina.
yeah, he got traded to Carolina this offseason.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember reading something about Ethan Bear, and I was like, oh, he's back in the league. I didn't read enough to see where he went, but damn, Carolina.
Yeah, it's a big move for him.
It's like seeing all our ghosts.
No, he likes, from what I've heard in his interviews, he likes being in Carolina and whatnot. But I'm very proud of a fellow cousin. Um, a huge reason why he's like the only reason why that game on Saturday against Carolina was it looked like it was sold out, and tickets were way more expensive for that game because
Really?
we were looking for that game as well, right? When we were looking
Oh,
for,
yeah, yeah.
and that's only because of Ethan Bear's return.
Well, I mean, yeah, yeah. Like he's a lot of people here identify with him. You know?
Well, for sure, and like the amount of Ethan Bear jerseys that I've seen everywhere, it's crazy. So I'm like really proud of the kid that he's an attraction. He's a draw,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Like he's just his third season in the league, and he's still drawing.
Totally. I don't know the ins and outs of the politics of this, but I wouldn't mind seeing that guy back on our team one day.
Oh, yeah, that'd be all good. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But we got a decent player for him in Warren Fogle. Good depth forward, and I mean it's a business, right? So sometimes you lose players that you like.
Always is.
So so I went to that game on Thursday, and then I ended up going back to Adams, right? We good?
11 minutes.
Okay. And so ended up going back to Adams after the game on Thursday, and passing out there, and then waking up super early in the morning on Friday. It was like I don't know 8 9 in the morning. Um, I mean it's super early when you were drinking all night at the game, right? So it was one of those mornings, and Adam's on the phone with Amy, our other cousin. Yeah, the manager of Cage Exteriors, and just talking to her, and Amy's like, "Oh, I'm gonna come down. She's coming down this next week or whatever to pick up that hamper or whatever."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she was talking about that to me, right? I'm like, okay, well, you're just coming down for the day. She's like, yeah. She's like, you should come down to Calgary.
But also, I don't know if she includes in the podcast. She should come down for a couple of days,
I know.
just like hang out and stuff.
I know.
I'd love to have her.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, just like here in the
Yeah.
place. I'd love to have her. She's great.
Okay, well, I'll mention it to her then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she was like, I'm like, you just come down for the day? She's like, yeah, I'll probably just come down for the day next week or whatever. But she's like, you should come down to Calgary. I'm like, I was just like half joking. I'm like, if you pay for my gas, I'll come down. Just kind of half joking.
Yeah.
And she's like, sure. Done. I'm
Oh
like,
damn.
what? I'm like, no way. So I'm chilling there with Adam and our other cousin Earl as well, and just super spontaneous. I'm like, yo, I guess we're going to Calgary.
All right.
First thing in the morning, barely got up. We get our shit together. I don't have a change of clothes. I don't have anything, right? So I just have like my mother's jersey and my hat, and we just pile our jerseys into the car. Don't bring anything really. We're like, we weren't even packing because what our plan was to go down there for the day and then come back the following morning
Right.
on the Saturday. So we were like, fuck it, we'll just go with the clothes on our backs. So we ended up driving down there, making up good time, doing like $1.30, $1.40. And believe it or not, right outside frickin' Calgary, get fucking lit up by the police right behind me.
No way.
Yeah, I passed them in the fast lane, and
Like right before Calgary.
right around Cross Iron Mills.
Oh,
Yeah, it was right there, and it was like,
dude, that area is so
dude,
deep.
yeah, very, very, and I should know that because I used to drive that road like every week.
It's
And-
50-50 though. That's yeah.
And I wasn't even like at that point. I wasn't cruising. He said when he pulled me over, he said I was doing 133, and it's 110, right? But I passed right. I passed right by him,
Right.
and so as soon as I see him in my rear view with the lights on, my heart sank. I'm like, oh shit,
Oof.
because we all know that feeling, getting pulled by the cops. But especially if
If you're native
especially if you're native,
with a bunch of natives in the car.
it's just a fact.
Yeah.
I also wasn't. I had trouble finding the insurance, which is huge.
Right.
So he could have given me a ticket for that. He also told me I pulled off on the left side, right? And he said that's illegal. You're supposed to pull on the right side when you pull over on the
Okay.
right shoulder. So
You're trying to find the insurance on your phone.
I'm trying to find the insurance on my phone.
You
I'm
pull
trying
up
to
on the left side.
on the left side. I was speeding, right?
You're
And
speeding.
and it was
the worst case scenario.
worst case scenario. I'm like Earl's in the back, like passed out, right, like laying down.
Right.
I'm like punch him, like wake up, dude, wake up. He's still sleeping.
The
Thankfully,
guys you were driving, were they drinking?
um, there. I don't know if they were drinking, but there was booze in the car. But
Oh,
Adam was slick with it, and he made sure it was all like put away, right?
yeah. Well, of
And
course he would. Yeah, he's a
yeah,
pro. But yeah, this is like this is the worst case
well,
scenario.
I honestly thought um that I might have been like arrested because I've had some bad experience with cops, and they try to look for like every little thing.
Oh yeah.
And so I thought maybe I thought I had this fine, this ticket that I didn't pay fully, that I thought maybe would come back to haunt me. So there was like a list of like 5 or 6 things.
It's racing in your head.
Yeah, and I'm losing it, and I'm trying to get the fucking insurance on my phone and do all of this. And long story short, the guy, he actually pulled a solid and just gave me a ticket for speeding.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't even for the 133. He did it for 130 because if you go 20 over or over 20,
Right.
it's like double.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like way more. So, um, it's funny. Like I'm I'm standing outside of his cop car because what happened is he's like, just wave me down because he went back to his car to write me the ticket. And he's like, just wave me down when you got the insurance, right? So I got the registration. I'm still waiting for the insurance. I'm basically like the cop in the situation where I'm standing outside of his vehicle, right, talking to him,
Oh yeah.
and cars are going by on the highway, right? It's like middle of the day, right? It's noon or something about that time,
Yeah.
and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm just refreshing my email, waiting for the pink slip for the insurance, right? I'm standing outside. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, it's freaking cold too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And luckily, he was one of a cool cop. I don't know how many there are in Calgary. Luckily, I haven't had to interact with too many Calgarian police, but um, he was one of the cool ones. Just gave me a ticket for speeding and let me on my way.
Damn.
I couldn't believe I got back in the car. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, thank you so much.
Right.
This could have been so much
It
worse.
could have been
Whoa,
so much
when it
worse.
first happened, I'm like, call Amy. Like, she might have to come pick you guys up. I thought there might have been a possibility where the car gets towed because no insurance, right? You don't have proof of
Yeah.
insurance, which I had insurance on it. And the funny thing is, as soon as you let me dip, I finally get it in my email.
Yeah. Well, you had to go online to find it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got out of that
Damn,
one.
that's rough.
We got
It
out
makes
of
me it makes me think I don't have paper insurance either. I got to go online to get it right now.
Well, it's okay if it's online.
It's okay if it's
Yeah.
online, but I got to make sure I have it like screen saved on my
I know, and I thought I
photos.
did too. I thought I did.
Yeah.
I was looking through all my shit, right? And I
Yeah.
couldn't find it. And
You gotta almost put it in a separate folder
yeah,
so you
yeah.
can find it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And so all of this was happening while I was like, it was all racing through my head. I'm thinking that, there's a possibility that the vehicle gets towed or, something, right? Because if you don't have, like I said, if you don't have insurance, I've had that happen before where I got my vehicle towed.
I mean, in the modern day, who wants to go to Staples to print out a bunch of pink sheets?
I know.
Like that's on your phone. You don't want that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's so nerve wracking, dude. Holy
it was
fuck.
so nerve wracking. Luckily we were, thankfully we were able to get out of that. And I think part of it too, I mean, at least in Adam's opinion, he was like, dude, you're lucky you're a smooth talker. Because I was playing it off too, like, how much was I doing? Like 33, and I was like kind of just trying to talk to him like a normal dude, right?
Right.
And so I think he respected that as well. And so anyways,
I think that's genetic.
oh yeah,
I think that's something that we can kind of all. I don't know. At least in like me, you, and
well,
Naomi.
in certain situations that is. I mean, if the
Yeah.
dude was a cunt, then it would have been.
Oh well, there's no fixing. It.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
But
So
if there's something you connect on a human level, you can kind of just be like, hey, listen, like,
yeah.
you know.
Well, I kept saying like, I'm sorry, like I just I played it off like
Yeah.
I was naive and shit, right?
Totally. Yeah.
And so, anyways, we got back on the road. I was, dude, up until like even today, like this whole weekend, every time I thought about it, like I just got like mad anxiety and whatnot, right? It just made me like, I can't believe basically got away with it.
Right.
Not that I was like doing anything like too ridiculously fucked up, but it could have been a lot worse, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if he really wanted to be a dick, it could have been a lot worse. He could have fucked up my day, right?
Oh yeah.
Fucked up my weekend. So, we got back on the road, got back to, finally got to Amy's, and just had a great time. I ended up having a few drinks, having a bunch of people over on that first night on Friday, over at her crib. Played some poker.
Christmas vibes.
Christmas vibes.
Ah, fuck, I missed out,
dude. Hammered vibes too, man. That first
Yeah.
night, yeah, it was a lot. We
Dope.
went off, and then so we wake up on Saturday morning. Freaking Auntie Barb
No way.
ringing the doorbell at 8 in the morning.
No way.
I didn't. Adam and Earl didn't realize that she left. She went to the casino all night,
Yeah.
and she won.
Oh, she was there the previous.
She was the previous night, and then she left, unbeknownst to us.
Yeah.
And she like ring the doorbell at 8 in the morning, woke us all up, but she came back a winner playing poker.
Let's go Denny's.
Yeah. So no, she pulled us all. She got us all. She ordered us all breakfast and whatnot.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so basically though that day was I was kind of fucked up though, because she it was like 8 in the morning or something, and she woke us all up, right?
Yeah.
And so the plan was to come back to Edmonton that day.
Yeah.
Right. But it was so early in the morning. I was, wasn't feeling the greatest, and I was like, you know what? Maybe we'll stay another night. Maybe we'll watch the Oilers game, that Carolina game. And so yeah, we ended up staying another night, having a good time. Just trying to think that. Oh yeah, the first night we got there, we went to Richmond's, which is a great bar, great best fries in Calgary. And then I was so
like right in the burbs.
No, it's not. No, it's more central than where they live.
Okay.
But it's one of my favorite spots. I always go there. I always get the fries.
Cool.
And anyways, but me and Adam were there before any of them were, because they had to run back to the house or whatever. So me and Adam were there. We had a few before they even showed up. So by the time they showed up and we were chilling for like another hour or two, I was like, "Yo, Amy, I gotta leave my car here. It wouldn't be safe to drive, right? I gotta be responsible." So ended up leaving my car there, picking it up the next morning on the Saturday, and just chilling out at their crib all Saturday. Watched some of the fights. Watched the Oilers game. Watched us lose again in a game where we didn't play that badly. We just Carolina's Frederick Anderson, their goalie, was going off. So we play Oilers play the Maple Leafs coming up here. That's going to be an interesting test because hate to say it, the Leafs are killing it this year. They're
weirdly.
That's on Tuesday, so hopefully we can snap this season long losing streak. We need to, because we're losing ground in the standings. Thank God we had such a good start to the season that we're still obviously in a playoff spot and whatnot. But you got to get back in the win column obviously. In the past week as well though, Ryan Nuge scored his 500th point. Show him some love.
Nuge. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good positive. Something to take out of this losing streak at least. Nuge, longest serving Oiler, 500 points.
Like ever?
Not ever. Just
on
our team right now. Yeah. No.
He's been there since I was a kid, man. Like,
and just crazy.
And that's back when he was a kid. Like he was like a kid.
Well, here's the funny thing: he
has the same age as me, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And he hasn't aged at all, though. Like he still looks like
he
still looks like a child.
Kid, yeah.
Everyone loves Nuge though.
Except he's a fucking millionaire and has everything going for him. I just like
everyone loves Nuge.
Totally.
Everyone loves Nuge. He's one of the fan favorites. I know he's Dad's favorite, one of his favorites, because he's got Pops has got a Nugent Hopkins jersey, and he's beloved. He's loved by the fan base, including myself. Some other news. Regarding the Oilers, anyway. Got ranked the 7th most valuable NHL franchise in the league. At I think we're like, what is it? $1 billion, just over $1 billion. We're valued at. New York Rangers number 1, 1.9. Maple Leafs second, 1.8 or something like that. But yeah, we moved up a few spots apparently since the last Forbes list came out about most valuable franchise in the NHL. We're at 7th, which I don't know. I think just because we're a smaller market, smaller city.
Oh yeah,
is probably because
that's pretty much, that's really good for us, isn't it?
It is really good, and We have such a huge fan base that's not just in Edmonton, right? It's like a lot of northern Alberta, Northwest Territories, and such.
But even just like North America wide, kind of an underdog logo is like the Oilers.
Yeah, well, it is. It is one of the smaller cities that's in the NHL.
Yeah, well, I just see in pop culture people that aren't even from Edmonton like rocking their colors and rocking our logo. It's a weird kind of like underdog kind of thing to wear.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gretzky did a lot for that. Like, if it wasn't for Gretzky,
Totally, yeah,
well, if it wasn't for Gretzky, one, the game wouldn't be as big in the States at all.
right.
Two, the players wouldn't be getting paid the way they get paid. Three, there wouldn't be as much advertising and revenue just in general being generated. So
Right.
Gretzky did a lot. I mean, obviously it was a sad day in Edmonton sports when they traded him to the Kings, but the game wouldn't be what it is today if Wayne Gretzky didn't play for the Los Angeles Kings. It's just a fact. Other NHL news: Alexander Ovechkin keeps climbing the ladder. In this past week in sports, the dude got his 750th goal, which, like, you never say about a hockey player. There's only been, what, I think four players ever to score that many goals in history. Let me look this up. NHL all-time goals. Yeah, it was just Gretzky, Gordie Howe, Jaromir Jagr, and now Alexander Ovechkin. Crazy. Those are the only four players to ever score 750 goals.
Wow,
Incredible, man.
that's over their whole career.
That's their whole career. That's regular season goals. Brett Hull.
Whew.
Brett Hull was fifth. He had 741. But Alexander Ovechkin 750. Jaromir Jagr 766. A lot of people say Jagr probably would have had more because he went and played in Czech Republic for a few years and then came back to the NHL.
Right.
Gordie Howe 801, and the great one 894 on his career.
894.
Yeah, if Ovi has another, I'm gonna say 3 good seasons after this. That's let's say 35 goals. That's 70. That's 100 goals. That'll bring him to 850. He'll need 4 good seasons, or 3 like spectacular seasons where he has like freaking like 50 goals. But
So more or less, we are
witnessing history.
We are witnessing at the start of a new world.
A new leader of goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we've witnessed it. We're blessed to see this because just the fact that to say somebody has scored 750 goals that's only been said 3 other times in the history of hockey.
And we have a lot of young people crossing the halfway threshold or less than halfway threshold towards that
of goals. Yeah,
and they're young, so we're going to see a bunch of people in the next couple years.
Maybe because
I mean, old age caps up.
Well, yeah, and I mean you got to stay healthy, right? You can't have injuries.
When you are 18 to 24 is so much different from when you're 24 to 28.
Yeah, and then when you get in your 30s and that's why it's another huge reason why what Ovechkin is doing is stellar. He's in his mid 30s now.
Ovechkin's something else, though.
And he is, and he's still putting up these numbers consistently.
Yeah.
So give him some love. Cool.
Yeah, Ovechkin
750. So yeah, another big talking point in the last few days around the league was this goal that Anaheim scored. Oh my God!
Right, the goal,
probably the nicest goal, in the history of hockey. So if you haven't seen it, get out from underneath your rock and check it out. So what happened was, I want to get these players' names right because kind of new to the league. Basically, there was a player behind the net, a Ducks player behind the net. He picked up the puck on his stick, going to do the Michigan thing where you like wrap it around. That's what it looked like he was going to do. Instead of doing that, he flips it. He flips the puck over the net, over the goalie, to another player, to another Anaheim Ducks player in the slot. He bats it out of midair, top shelf. Fucking
Damn.
an alley oop in fucking hockey. You never see this shit. I gotta look this up. I gotta watch this again. Have you seen it, Caleb?
I saw it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goal
Yeah,
of the year.
it's something that just like it just looks like they've practiced so much.
Yeah. So it was
yeah.
Trevor Zegras and Sonny Milano, the
Shout
two
out.
teams, and their faces after they scored, they couldn't even believe it,
They
right?
could- yeah, of course
Yeah, they
not,
looked at
yeah.
each other like, "Oh my god, it
Did we
worked!"
just do that? Did we just do that?
Like
Yeah.
unbelievable. So yeah, look it up
Yeah.
if you haven't watched it yet.
That's the Anaheim Ducks.
Anaheim Ducks, freaking Trevor Zegras and Sonny Milano with the best goal you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And Connor has scored some crazy ones this year. Fuck, over the net alley oop. That's something I practice on the rinks.
No, I heard your live reaction to it. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, something must have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even. Well, I wasn't watching the game live. Obviously, it was a Ducks game, but I seen it like on my feed like 2 minutes after it happened. Right.
Right.
I'm like, holy shit, what a goal!
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like you never see that, and it's funny. Like I just practice like just silly shit like that at the rink when I go skate. Right.
Yeah.
These guys pulled it off in a National Hockey League game. Unbelievable. So good for them. Hopefully Anaheim doesn't overtake us any further in the standings, though. Even though they did score some crazy goal. Other hockey news, real quickly. As far as Edmonton, the World Juniors is happening coming up at the end of the month here, and it's taking place here in Edmonton. Actually, they're having it here, so I'm thinking of maybe going. And four Edmonton Oil Kings have made Team Canada.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, the Oil Kings they've always seemed to have like good young talent, and the fact that four of them are going to the World Juniors is pretty impressive. I guess I should have probably maybe started with this. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers being the Grey Cup champions. I haven't watched really any CFL this year, partly because the Elks suck, and a big reason why is TSN doesn't have a freaking PlayStation app. So I can't even watch it on my TV.
Right.
So I mean, as much as I get mad about Sportsnet's glitchiness, at least they have an app for the thing, right?
Yeah.
TSN doesn't even have an app for the PlayStation, so that's one of the big reasons why I haven't been watching CFL this year. And but shout out to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers winning the Grey Cup once again, back to back. Last year the season was canceled, but they won it in 2019. Winnipeg, yeah. And it was actually
damn good for them.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty entertaining game. Just as far as like the back and forth. It went to overtime, and yeah, like it was quite the scoring affair. And Winnipeg, the 108th Grey Cup champion, 107th and 108th Grey Cup champion.
Get the victories where you need, Winnipeg.
Hey, I like how they got the Jets back, because they got a passionate fan base. I remember when the Jets made a couple of their runs in the playoffs, deep into the playoffs. That looked freaking fun.
When you're in that endless, cold, desolate, lonely tundra
of Winnipeg, Manitoba,
in your rundown city.
Hey, have you ever been there? You can't talk shit about Winnipeg.
I can't talk shit.
Yeah,
you're right. I can't. Yeah. I mean, you need something. You got your sports teams, and you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
It probably hypes the fuck out of them.
Oh, dude, it was so the game was actually in Hamilton.
I feel happy for them, actually.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The game was in Hamilton, which doesn't happen that often, where the city that hosts it has the team that's in it. But that happened this year, and the place was sold out. The place was packed. So that's a good sign for the CFL, because they obviously had to cancel last year. I was looking at some of the attendance numbers throughout the season.
I didn't realize Hamilton had a team actually.
Yeah, Tiger Cats,
Right,
and
right.
so yeah, it was nice to see it like a jam packed place. There was a lot of Winnipeg fans there too, and so congrats to them. Um, another in other Canadian news, Damian Warner wins Canadian Athlete of the Year. If you guys remember, he performed in the decathlon at the Olympics this past summer, and the dude rocked it like unbelievable. Took home gold, and yeah, the consensus in the sports world is that athletes that compete in the decathlon are arguably the best athletes because it's multiple different events.
Right.
Right. It's all track field, but it's everything. It's like shot put, javelin, high jump, 100 meter, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can imagine.
yeah. So it's like a oh yeah, a long jump, everything, right?
They're the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. And so the fact that the Canadian won gold this year at the Olympics in the decathlon is huge. So shout out to Damian Warner for
Woo!
winning Canadian Athlete of the Year. Oh yes, and some NFL news as well. Actually, I was watching some NFL. You know why? Because DAZN. I have DAZN, and they got the NFL package, and they have a PlayStation app. Brady killing it. Tom Brady's 700th career touchdown was a walk-off in overtime. He also passed, in the same game, he passed Drew Brees to become the all-time NFL completions leader. Guy's got like how many? It was like I want to say 7,000. Yeah, 7,143 completions. Unbelievable. Dude's in his mid 40s and he's still freaking killing it. So the Bucks are on their way. They're going off. I'm obviously going to be talking more NFL as the season winds down and the playoff runs start to happen. But yeah, Tom Brady doing what Tom Brady does best, and still killing the competition. Just looking through any other just some minor. Oh yeah, NBA news. Kevin Durant, one of the best players in the league, fined $25,000 for swearing at a fan. Oh, what the fuck! You can't swear at fans anymore, man. It's sad.
Why not?
Why not? Right?
Swearing at you.
Exactly. The fans can
Yeah.
swear at you, but you can't swear back. Come on now.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I miss the good old days
Yeah,
when they would jump up in the stands and beat up a fan or two,
you're
right?
paying fucking $1,000 for these tickets right next to me so I can hear you.
Yeah.
Eat shit.
I know I love that the fan when the fans interact with like the players and it gets out of hand. Actually, speaking of which, that happened in the East Final at the CFL last week. There was an altercation with fans and an Argos player. Yeah, Argo and a Ticat fan. Punches were thrown and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, as they were like going off the field and whatnot because like the Ticats fan was like beacon.
Wait, during the game?
I was after the game.
After the game.
Yeah. Or at halftime or something. It was when the players were going, dipping out, right? And
what?
like, dude, like,
Wait, the cameras got this or what?
cameras got it. Yeah. So the Toronto police were investigating
They
it.
just start making out.
Or was that? I think that was in Toronto. I don't know. It was in Toronto or in Hamilton, Ontario police. But yeah, so it's always entertaining because these professional athletes are so much. They're fit, right?
Yeah.
You want to fight a professional athlete? No thanks, dude. No thanks.
Also, why you beacon them for things you can never do?
Right? hey, we all do it though.
Yeah.
We all do it as sports fans.
Oh, dude, I'm watching the fucking hockey. I'm like, why don't you?
Yeah.
I know nothing about sports. I'm like, why don't you grab that puck and why don't you turn it around?
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
I know, right?
I never fucking been
we-
on ice with a stick and a puck.
We all do it. We all do
Yeah.
it. So, but yeah, this week in sports history. Oh my God, I seen some interesting. I actually don't even believe this is to be true, but apparently it is. 1985, December 11th, 1985. 36 years ago. NHL record 62 points scored in one game.
No way.
So Edmonton, that's not goals scored. That's points scored. Edmonton had 36 points on 12 goals, which is crazy. So that basically means there's 2 assists for each of one of those 12 goals, right?
Damn.
So 3 points. And then Chicago had 26 points on 9 goals. The final score was 12-9 and
Jeez.
ties a record of most goals in a game, 21 goals, 62 points in one game. That's like almost like not even believable. Like 62 points scored in one game. Freaking crazy.
31 to 31.
Well, yeah, no. Like I said, that's not goals, right? That's
no, exactly.
Yeah.
But like that's the equivalent,
Pretty
right?
much, yeah. If it was all unassisted, if it was all
yeah.
unassisted goals,
Yeah.
it'd be yeah.
Jeez, what a lot, yeah.
Also, 2009. I bring this up because it's kind of relevant now. In 2009, Tiger Woods announces an indefinite leave from professional golf to focus on his marriage. Obviously, that was well documented, what happened and shit.
How indefinite was that?
He was gone for like a year. And
So not so indefinite.
well, no. Another reason I bring this up is though because he played this weekend is like after his accident earlier this year.
Right.
The guy destroyed his vehicle, broke his leg, could have lost his leg.
Yeah.
And now he's back playing. Now he's back playing golf after all the things he's been through. His public like affairs and whatnot, and it is I couldn't even imagine.
Which is kind of unfair for a athlete,
Well, I know
It's only because like he passed the threshold between like a B or C list celebrity as an athlete sometimes normally is at their highest to an A list.
to the
celebrity.
A-list, known all around the world.
Yeah, so he's scrutinized for everything he does.
Everything, and it's crazy because the dude's a Terminator, man. He keeps coming back.
Yeah, and
Mad respect.
who gives a fuck if he's shitty? I watch him for his fucking
his golf.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He might be a shitty dude. I don't give a fuck. I want to see him like just knock the shit out of that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. He seems like a pretty good dude. He just likes to, bang around. But Bill Burr has a great bit about that, where like you would never know. Women just probably throw themselves at him, right?
Yeah.
And
he's beating him off with the stick.
Yeah.
And then he gets to the one where he's like,
yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So I
can't say no to that one. Yeah.
I am a fan of Tiger Woods. I always will be,
Yeah.
and I have mad respect for the dude, how he keeps coming back. So I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope to see more of him.
Yeah.
Throughout
He's
the
too
years.
good.
He's so good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he's back playing, and he didn't lose his leg, for fuck's sake. It's just unbelievable that he keeps coming back. Like one after another, things that keep happening to him over the years, and he still finds a way to return, and it's amazing.
Oh
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was this latest week of or this latest episode of This Week in Sports. As always, thanks for listening. Give it a like. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, check in on you next week.